This is Radio Nepal. I'm Kaushal Ghimire with the news, the headlines first. Prime Minister Shabada Dewa says all laws related to the media sector would be concluded during the current tenure of the House of Representatives. Cabinet accepts about 17 billion rupees concessional loan for Digital Nepal Acceleration Project. Nepal Electricity Authority brings electrical vehicle charging station into operation at its central office in Kathmandu. And last leader of the former Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, dies at the age of 91. Now the news in detail. The government of Nepal has decided to accept about 17 billion rupees concessional loan from the World Bank and other donors for Digital Nepal Acceleration Project. Government spokesperson and Communication Minister Gyanendra Bahadur Karki said so while unveiling the recent cabinet meetings decisions amid a press briefing at Singh Durbar yesterday. The cabinet meeting also decided to appoint Krishi Samakri Company to complete the remaining procedure of fertilizer procurement from India through government-to-government model. Likewise, the government has approved 663 temporary posts to induct employees for various projects under different ministries. Communication Minister Kargi said 431 officer-level temporary posts under Energy Ministry and 105 posts under Education Ministry have been approved. Likewise, the Cabinet has approved 30 temporary posts under Industry Ministry, 50 posts under Agriculture Ministry, 47 posts under Forestry and Environment Ministry. Minister Kargi said the temporary vacancies would be annulled after the completion of the projects. Prime Minister Shabada Dewa has said that all media-related laws will be concluded within the current tenure of the House of Representatives. He made such comments during a meeting with the delegation of the Federation of Nepali Journalists FNJ yesterday. FNJ President Bipul Pokhrel and other representatives had gone to meet Prime Minister Dewa to demand that media-related laws should be concluded as the 5-year tenure of the House of Representatives was nearing completion. The laws, including the Media Council Bill, are yet to be concluded. The Prime Minister also made a telephone call and directed Communication Minister Kargi to take initiatives to conclude media-related laws at the earliest. Nepal Electricity Authority has brought a charging station into operation for electric vehicles at its central office premises in Kathmandu. Energy Minister Pampa Bhusal inaugurated the charging station amid a program organized at the Ratna Park-based office yesterday. Nepal Electricity Authority officials have shared that the authority has planned to set up 51 charging stations across the country. The authority has a plan to set up fast charging stations along with the highways and major cities. The official said the existing electric vehicles in Nepal could be charged within a half hour to 1 hour time while charging at these charging stations. President Vidyadevi Bhandari performed worship at Pashupatinath Temple yesterday on the occasion of Haritalika Teej. President Bhandari reached the temple yesterday evening to worship the deity. She also extended these greetings to the women who were observing fasting there. Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Jivan Ram Shrestha and office bearers of the Pashupati Area Development Trust had welcomed the President upon her arrival at the temple. The Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, Govinda Prasad Sharma Koirala, has clarified that the government was with all the survivors of the serious human rights violations, including enforced disappeared persons and their families. Issuing a message on the International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances yesterday, Minister Koirala expressed his commitment to dispense justice to the families of enforced disappeared persons who were disappeared during the armed conflict. He informed that the government had already tabled a bill for the amendment to the investigation of enforced disappeared persons, Truth and Reconciliation Commission Act 2071 for ensuring the survivors' right to know the truth about enforced disappeared persons, right to justice and right to reparation. Jazeera Airways, a Kuwaiti airliner, is set to operate flights at Gautam Buddha International Airport on a daily basis from the 16th of September. According to the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal CAN spokesperson Jagannath Nirola, the airline company has completed the due process for operation on a daily basis. The airways has been conducting flights at the airport 3 days a week since it started direct commercial flights between Nepal and Kuwait in May. The airline company is operating flights to and from Nepal, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Europe. CAN said Wizz Airline, a Hungarian airliner, is also scheduled to operate flights at the airport from the 30th of October. The flights will take place between Abu Dhabi in United Arab Emirates and Nepal 3 days a week. The second meeting of the bilateral consultations mechanism between Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nepal and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia was held in Canberra yesterday. Foreign Secretary Bharat Raj Paudel and the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia, Justin Hayhurst, led their respective delegations to the BCM meeting yesterday. The two sides reviewed the bilateral relations between Nepal and Australia and exchanged views on further strengthening the bilateral relations and cooperation in different fields including education, energy and investment. Appreciating Australian cooperation to Nepal, Foreign Secretary Paudel requested Australia to place Nepal as a priority country for Australian aid. He also requested the Australian side to extend support for the post-COVID economic recovery, realise the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development, and consider issuing visa services from the Australian Embassy in Kathmandu. Earlier, Nepal and Australia signed a Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation on Water Resource Management. As per the agreement, Australia will provide support on capacity development and training, technical assistance in water resource management. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. On to an international update now. Mikhail Gorbachev, the former Soviet leader who brought the Cold War to a peaceful end, has died aged 91. Gorbachev, who took power in 1985, opened up the then USSR to the world and introduced a set of reforms at home. But he was unable to prevent the slow collapse of the Soviet Union from which modern Russia emerged. Tributes have been paid worldwide, with the United Nations chief Antonio Guterres saying he changed the course of history. Mikhail Gorbachev was one-of-a-kind statesman, UN Secretary-General Guterres wrote in a Twitter tribute. He said the world had lost a towering global leader committed to multilateralism and tireless advocate for peace. The hospital in Moscow where he died said he had been suffering from a long and serious illness. Now, a sports update. Nepal won the T20 series played against Kenya with 3 wins to 2 wins. Nepal won the series by defeating the home team Kenya by 31 runs in the 5th match played yesterday in capital Nairobi. Nepal had posted the target of 176 runs, losing just 7 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. While chasing the target, Kenya managed to collect just 144 runs at the loss of 7 wickets. For the Nepali team, Gyanendra Malla scored the highest 59 runs, while Rohit Paudel scored 47 runs. Bowling, Sandeep Lamichhane and Basir Ahmed took 2 wickets each for the winning team. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. According to the Meteorological Forecasting Division, the weather will be partly to generally cloudy throughout the country. Light to moderate rain with thunder and lightning is also likely to occur at a few places of Province Number 1, Madhya Province, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province, and at 1 or 2 places of the rest of the country. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin, but before wrapping up, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Shehbaz Dewa says all laws related to media sector would be concluded during the current tenure of the House of Representatives. Cabinet accepts about 17 billion rupees concessional loan for Digital Nepal Acceleration Project. Nepal Electricity Authority brings electric vehicles charging station into operation at its central office in Kathmandu. And last leader of the former Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, dies at the age of 91. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website, www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.